Zone looked down. He had always dreamed of being rich. He wanted a big house, cars, fame. But seeing the old man's empty eyes, he felt confused. "Didn't you try to rebuild it all, Grandpa?" he asked. Billim smiled softly. "I did, but some things can't be built twice. You can make new money, but not old memories. You can buy a new house, but not the people who filled it with laughter. Once they go, they take the warmth with them." The evening wind grew stronger. Zone looked at the old man's hands, wrinkled, trembling, yet full of calmness. He said quietly, "Grandpa, I think I'm also running after money. Maybe I should stop before it's too late." Billim looked at him and said, "No, my boy, never stop dreaming. Work hard, earn, grow. But don't forget to live while you earn. Money is important, but it's not everything. The real treasure is the time you spend with the people who care about you." Zone nodded slowly. The streetlight turned on, and their shadows stretched across the path. The boy stood up and said, "I'll come tomorrow, Grandpa. We'll talk more." Billim smiled. "Sure, son, tomorrow." That night Billim went home. He opened an old box of photographs, his wife smiling, his son as a child, the house they once lived in. Tears rolled down his cheeks, but his heart felt light. For the first time in years, someone had listened to him. The next morning, Zone came running to the park holding 2 cups of coffee. "Grandpa Billim," he called, but the bench was empty. The wind blew softly through the trees. Zone looked around, confused, then noticed a folded note lying on the bench. He picked it up and opened it. The note said, "Dear Zone, thank you for listening to an old man's story. You reminded me of my son, whom I never got to say sorry to. Remember one thing, my boy, don't count your money, count your moments. When you're young, time feels endless. But one day, you'll look back and realize it was the only wealth you ever had." Billim Zone. Zone sat down slowly on the same bench, holding the note tightly. His eyes filled with tears, but there was a small smile on his face. He whispered, "Thank you, Grandpa. I'll remember." Years passed. Zone grew up, became successful, and had a small family of his own. Every Sunday, he visited the same park with his little daughter. She would always ask, "Daddy, why do we come here every week?" Zone would smile and say, "Because someone once taught me that time and love are the only things that matter." The little girl would giggle and run around the tree, while Zone sat quietly, feeling the same peace that Billim once had. He looked at the empty bench beside him and whispered, "I hope you're resting well, Grandpa." The wind blew gently, carrying the sound of leaves, as if the old man was answering back. Some stories don't end when people leave. They live on in hearts, in lessons, and in moments shared under a quiet tree in a forgotten park.